What's going on? My name is Parenteau, and today I'll be reviewing Shirley, a film you can see on Hulu right now.
Jay,
make the rules in smart tech.
Jay, let's take the baseline for a walk.
All hail Jay! All hail Jay!
thanks, Jay.
English nerds, Little Women fanatics, literature liaisons, lend me your ears. This movie is for you and for you alone. I have never been one to stick my nose in the air and pretend pretentiously that I prefer the prolific predispositions of a past poem of which I profusely misunderstand. What I mean is, I don't like old stories that are supposed to be allegorical pieces of advice for us younger generations. We like superheroes and rom-coms. Not this. And of course, literature is important, but I believe it can be presented in a much more interesting way. Having said that, this film is very unique, and it's not its fault it's based on a book of which I'm sure I wouldn't like. The story is based off a novel by Susan Scarf Morell, and it follows the real-life events of horror author Shirley Jackson. Jackson being famous for The Lottery and The Haunting of Hill House. Two stories that I actually like. Like I said, if you find yourself disagreeing with me that most literature is bland and unentertaining, then you'll probably find value in watching this film. But make sure to bring your own charcuterie board and $100 bottle of wine. All jokes aside, there are plenty of examples of good filmmaking in this movie. Sound is one of them. Apart from overall score, the filmmakers added ticks and slicing violin sounds to highlight scenes in which a dramatic action was taking place. If you've ever seen a horror film, you know what these sound like. Here's an example. Now, while that seems pretty generic, combining those sounds with camera motion and blocking allows the viewer to feel vertigo. That occurs in this film when our lead character Rosie is meeting everyone in her new town at a party. You as the viewer feel overwhelmed with faces, sounds, and actions to the point of sickness. And provoking that feeling is something that any film would be glad to achieve. You, however, should not feel sickness when the lead character delivers her lines. Shirley, the second main subject, is played by Elizabeth Moss of Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men. As a disclaimer, I have not seen her act in anything other than this film, so it's a shame that I was so thrown off by her performance. Most lines that she delivered felt choked out and laced with an accent that was not believable. I think it was either misdirection or poor interpretation of the character by Moss. I do think that it would have been more believable for me if an older actress was cast to play that role. This makes sense for two reasons. A, because the voice she is trying to use is forcing a deeper tone, which indicates that the character is supposed to be older or rougher. And B, because she is supposed to be more imposing or somewhat scarier than our innocent lead actress. However, when the two interact during a scene, they seem to be the same age, which doesn't work for me. Another issue I have with this film is that its flashbacks are opaque and vague, leaving the viewer with little data to connect the dots. There is no doubt in my mind that that was exactly the filmmaker's intent. And maybe I'm just too dumb to figure out this puzzle. But most people, not saying me, but most people don't like to feel dumb. I think it's safe to say that my opinion swings closer to the masses, and therefore I have a hand in writing the paycheck for many of these films. You can't eat good critic reviews. The box office is what's gonna buy you that new Ferrari, Marty. Playing devil's advocate to myself as I do on a daily basis, we should make this point. No, we shouldn't. Yes, we should. Fine, you go ahead. Fine. I'd say it's obvious that this film is not trying to be a tentpole cash grab. It's trying to be legitimate art, and I guess it achieves that, but it just wasn't entertaining to me. Because of poor casting and an ambiguous story and timeline, I give this film 3.5 degrees. And that's my opinion of Shirley. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more movie reviews, hit me with a subscribe. And as always, if you have a different opinion than mine, or you just want to shout out a movie for me to watch, put it in the comments below and maybe I'll get around to it if I have the time. But I don't, because I'm making other stuff for you with movies that I actually want to see. Because I'm the expert here. See you next time.